in the 7th chapter, we're still dealing with Eruvin, פרק שביעי, משנה א'. 5 המשניות הראשונות בפרקנו, the 5 first Mishnahs in this chapter, עוסקות בשתי חצרות הסמוכות זו לזו. We're dealing about 2 courtyards, and the 2 courtyards are next to each other. Remember, a courtyard is a shared courtyard. There's going to be like 10 families sharing the same courtyard. You know? So the 10 families has to do an eruv within themselves to use their courtyard. Otherwise, they're not allowed to carry on Shabbat from their houses to the courtyard. והן באות ללמד מתי הן מערבות עירוב אחד. We're going to learn when is it possible, if they're next to each other, sometimes you can consider all the residents on both courtyard to be the same eruv, if they're both next to each other. So in other words, you don't need to make one eruv for one courtyard, and another eruv for another courtyard, and then another eruv between the 2 courtyards. You can just make a shared courtyard for everybody, and you can see that both courtyards joined.
Each one gives something to the...
That's right, to one house, instead of doing it twice. Yeah? So let's see. חלון שבין שתי חצרות. If you have 2 courtyards, and they're separated by a wall, the 2 courtyards are separated by a wall. So it means there's 2 courtyards. You can't, how am I going, or by a fence. In between them, in between the 2 courtyards.
In the wall.
In the wall of the court, between the courtyards, or in the fence between the 2 courtyards. חלון שבין שני חצרות, a window that is between the 2 courtyards, כלומר, which means, אם יש חלון בכותל שבין שני חצרות, if there's a window in the wall that is between 2 courtyards, שהוא לפחות 4 על 4, it needs to be at least 4 אמות on 4 אמות, 2 meters on 2 meters, yeah? 4 על 4, no, sorry, 4 בטפחים, not meters, not אמות. It's טפחים, which is much less. בתוך 10, and this window is within 10 טפחים from the ground, yeah, which is very low, yeah, like a doggy door, for example. There's a doggy door between them, yeah. טפחים סמוך לקרקע. בגמרא מבואר, in the Gemara it explains, שאפילו רק מקצת החלון הוא בתוך 10 סמוך לקרקע. Even if just a little bit of the window, it starts at 9 and then it goes up, it's still considered to be within 10 טפחים. מערבין 2. Then they are going to make an eruv, 2 eruvs. כל חצר מערבת עירוב חצרות לעצמן. The best way to do it, every courtyard has to make an eruv for itself, the residents of each courtyard by themselves. ואסורים לטלטל מחצר אחת לחברתה. And they are forbidden to carry from one yard to its next. So that's the best way to do it. And if you want to make an eruv with the next courtyard, make another eruv between this courtyard and another courtyard. So you're going to have to make 2 eruvim.
In other words, the window didn't do any trick.
Wait, that's the way it's so far not.
So far no.
It says the best way is to make regular. But אם רצו, but if they wanted, they're allowed to מערבין אחד. They're allowed to make 1 eruv. Since there's a window, the best way is to do it 2. But if they want to, they're allowed to, according to halacha, to make 1 eruv for everybody because they're connected. אם רצו אנשי שני החצרות הללו לערב עירוב אחד, if these 2 courtyards want to make 1 eruv, רשאים הם לעשות כן, they're allowed to do so. ויתנו בני חצר אחת את עירובם בחצר האחרת, והיו כבני חצר אחת. In other words, they will choose which house, any house will do, and they're going to be 1 courtyard. שיהיו מותרים לטלטל מזו לזו, that they will be permitted to carry from this one to this one. לפי, why? שהחלון שהוא 4 על 4 בתוך 10 דינו כפתח. Because a window with the minimum measurement of 4 on 4, of course if it's bigger then for sure it's okay, but the minimum measurement for the window to be open is 4 on 4 within 10 טפחים, it is considered to be like an opening. It's like a pathway. Yeah, it's like a pathway. הואיל ואפשר לעבור בו, since a person can go through it. והוא מצרף את שתי החצרות ועושה אותם ראויות לעירוב אחד, and it makes it into one courtyard. אבל אם החלון הוא פחות מ4 על 4, but if the window is less than 4 on 4 טפחים, שהואיל ואינו ראוי לעבור בו מחצר אחת לחצר אחרת, now it's too small for anybody to go through it, הרי אינו כפתח, then it's not considered an opening. Or there's another thing, or it's inconvenient, it's high, or למעלה מ10, or it's above 10 טפחים, שהחלון שבכותל הוא למעלה מ10 טפחים, it is above 10 טפחים, שאינו נוח להשתמש בו. You're not going to start climbing walls in order to go into the next room, into the next courtyard. ועוד, שנמצא כותל גבוה 10 טפחים, מפריד בין שתי החצרות. So, and also, even without the window, you have a problem because you have a mechitza between the two courtyards. Because the mechitza is 10 tfachim. So 10 tfachim is the mechitza itself, so you actually, there's a separation between the two things, so the opening doesn't help. Okay.
If it's higher than the 10 tfachim.
That's right.
So what you say, if you have over 10 tfachim and you have a chalon, still you have a mechitza.
You have a mechitza with an opening. The opening makes it.
But it's over 10 tfachim.
If
The wall is over tfachim.
it can be 100 tfachim.
More than 4 by 4.
Below 10 tfachim,
Below 10 tfachim.
you're fine. Because there's a petach.
Even though the wall is more.
Yeah, it can be 100 tfachim. Because the wall,
I thought it's a mechitza, it's considered a mechitza already.
it is a mechitza with an opening. It's a mechitza with an opening. That's what makes it. It's almost like in your house. It's another room. It's another room. I don't care if you can go to it. It's considered to be another room. If you have mechitza, it's a door. שנמצא כותל גבוה 10 טפחים מפריש חצר. Okay. מערבים שניים. Then in such a case, where there's a mechitza, or the window is too small, or the window is too high, then you have to make an eruv, 2 eruvim. כל חצר מערב לפני עצמה. Every yard has to make an eruv on its own. ואין מערבים אחד. ואינם יכולים לערב עירוב אחד לשניהם. And they're not permitted to make one eruv for both of them. בגמרא אמרו, in the Gemara they said, ששני בתים שיש ביניהם חלון, what about 2 houses that there is between them a window? Sometimes they share, duplex. Yeah, duplex. The 2 houses share between them a window.
Oh.
אפילו, yeah.
Like one wall with a window between 2 houses?
Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense, but in the courtyard it does.
So there's a little yard between.
That's right, and then there's
And then
there's a window in the wall between the 2 houses.
Okay.
שיש ביניהם חלון, אפילו הוא למעלה מהספרים, if it's only 2 houses, and even if it is above 10 טפחים, יכולים לערב עירוב אחד. The 2 houses, not the 2 courtyards, the 2 houses are allowed to make one עירוב. לפי שנותנים על יד החלון כלים גבוהים, because it is possible to put a step ladder, for example, or something next to the window, ואפשר לעלות עליהם ולהשתמש בחלון בנקל. And then it's easy to go up and use this opening in an easy manner. הילקח דינו כפתח, ואם רצו מערבים אחד. Therefore, it is considered to be like an opening. And in other words, if there's an opening between the 2 courtyards, obviously there's an opening for something. And usually people put a step ladder, or they build small steps, or they put a table over there, or a chair, so they can go from one to the next. So therefore, if it's 2 houses, they can do one eruv. But we're not dealing over here with houses, we're dealing here with courtyards.